Since its last console game, Bleach Soul Resurrection, the IP hasn't seen a new console game for over 10 years. A year after this game released, the anime would conclude on March 27, 2012. The collective thought was that a Bleach console game would never happen. Things would soon change. On March 20th, 2020, the Bleach Anniversary Project premiered. Showcased Bleach was seemingly getting Thousand Year Blood War anime, which wouldn't get its first official trailer until Jump Festa, December 18th, 2021. This announced the release date for Core 1 of the Bleach Thousand Year Blood War anime, and roughly 6 months later, in June of 2022, Kubo stated that he heard something in regards to a console game. Unknowingly, this was the first time we heard about this console game. Fast forward to December 27, 2023, Shueisha filed a trademark for Bleach Rebirth of Souls. Some believe this was foreshadowed by Kubo, as he mentioned a console game a year prior. On May 5th, 2024, the trademark would get registered. After this, things would stay quiet until July 5th, 2024. Sergio M3, who is known for data mining several anime games, tweeted out, "I have something today that should excite most anime game fans." Sergio would go on to show 2 sneak peeks. The Bleach community were thrilled, while others were on the fence because this seemed like an arena fighter that would just play like all the others. The Bandai Namco Summer Showcase was scheduled to premiere at 8:30 p.m. EST, hosted by Jackie Jin at Anime Expo. She took to the stage to present various information on anime games, and she teased that there would be world premieres and big surprises. 50 minutes in, nothing really exciting was revealed at the showcase. Things took a turn for the best. Jackie shared with the crowd she had another surprise world premiere.
We do really have a special announcement for you all. Another world premiere.
They were met with the first look at Bleach Rebirth of Souls announcement trailer.
You must become a Soul Reaper.
Bleach finally got a new game announced in over 10 years that wasn't a mobile game. Sorry, Brave Souls. Despite this excitement, the game would face several hurdles. Bleach Rebirth of Souls was being developed by Tamsoft Corporation, who are mostly known for their very sexual in nature video games, the Senran and Kagura games. This had some thrill because it meant jiggle physics. It also worried others as their catalog of games were rather low quality. They managed to pull off the look of Bleach, though it was also revealed that this was in assistance with Studio Period, as they were aiming to make the game look closer to the Thousand Year Blood War. Kubo, who was also helping with the game. People were worried that Bleach Rebirth of Souls was being held back, also due to the PS4. And to be fair, these fans were justified in their fears because Demon Slayer Hinokami Chronicles, which released in 2021, came on the PS4 and PS5. It had FPS differences that affected the PS5 online. On July 13, 2024, we would get our first look at the HUD for Bleach Rebirth of Souls. This HUD looked rather fake at the time, and it showcased 9 health bars. It seemed rather absurd. Then on July 24th, we finally got the gameplay overview trailer. With several terms, a confusing HUD, there needed to be more explanation on this game. This trailer broke down the basis to the battle system as well as what was happening on the screen. We got more clarification on those 9 bars and what would happen as you drained the bars. The battle system with over 4 key rules. I give the trailer kudos because it answered some questions that we were confused on. IGN on the same day had posted an interview that was conducted with the producer of Bleach Rebirth of Souls. Now, given the writer's biases and unneeded verbiage, the interview did establish that this game would be a balanced game and it was covering up to the Arrancar arc's conclusion. Also did extensive research regarding the Bleach IP. Something that became more apparent was the mixed reviews surrounding Bleach Rebirth of Souls, and this would expose the Bleach community's vulnerabilities. Globku was one of the biggest creators who voiced his opinions in regards to the terminology being used in the game.
The new Bleach Rebirth of Souls looks incredible, but how the hell does it play? From the little we know so far, it sounds like this game is gonna be weird. It's not gonna be your typical arena fighter where you just slash the opponent to win. It seems like there are some more complicated mechanics at work, maybe something like the Cydia or Jujutsu Kaisen. Maybe it's something else entirely, but it does sound like it's gonna be weird. Which is why I'm so happy that today Friday, Bandai Namco decided to publish a gameplay overview trailer for this game. It's about to premiere, but I'm honestly already scared because the description says, cut down your opponent's reishi, break their konpaku. So it sounds like in addition to learning how this game is going to be played, we're also going to learn some new words here.
He felt that the use of the words were confusing, though people soon corrected him, though not in the best way. People in the Bleach community didn't like that. They felt that this type of language could damage the perception, limiting who would buy it. This will blow into a bit of drama between Bleach fans, Bleach creators, and quite frankly, added negativity that didn't really need to be there for a Bleach game. 5 days after the overview trailer had dropped, we would see the first of 3 characters on the roster. These trailers that were revealed were for Ichigo, Rukia, and Uryu. 1-minute trailers would highlight a character's moves, awakenings, and tease their Kikon moves and give us information pertaining to the type of character they were. These were rather low budget trailers that released every Monday starting on July 29th until March 17th. These trailers, in my opinion, built up the hype for the game. It gave the community something to look forward to. Each passing week, people tried to look for patterns to guess the next character. Then we fast forward to September. The Caribbean Side episode 3 had aired and it revealed some gameplay. This was our first look at gameplay. The voice actors got a chance to play it. Despite this being live streamed, Bandai didn't repost this anywhere and failed on giving us a good look at the game. Bandai would post a full match with Yoruichi and Ichigo with some cuts. My biggest criticism is that it was in 30 FPS and wasn't in full 60 FPS. Despite this, the community was thrilled about the gameplay because it gave them a first look at the game, but there was a problem. Bleach Rebirth the Souls didn't have combos, or rather, it had stale, same looking combos. This was a fair criticism because prior anime games feature characters who could do combos and didn't feel like everyone was playing the same. Despite all of this, creators like Afro Senju was looking forward to this game as he felt it was promising.
That was fire. I'm excited. This is what I needed to see, bro. Now I have faith in this foundation. I just need game modes now. If you can please give me an endless spectator, some type of tournament mode, a ranking system where you can view and save your replays. Is this too much to ask? And then anything on top of that, you got yourself a community. We can build a crazy foundation off of that alone.
One of the biggest concerns the game faced around this time, however, was the lack of lengthy trailers, the lack of certain characters, while fans anticipated more character trailers. The community was divided on how big the roster was going to be, whether it was going to be 25 characters, 30, 40, or even more. Things wouldn't ramp back up until we got closer to Jump Festa. The team started releasing story mode cutscenes for characters already announced on their birthday. It looked pretty dope at a time, but it did reveal that the game wasn't as high of a budget as we probably thought it was. Many people didn't nitpick this. We then soon got the release date trailer for the game, which showed us pre-order bonuses, different editions. First look at the DLC, it would feature 4 characters, come out a week early for people who got the deluxe edition, and the community was pretty hyped, especially for the story moments. But again, it revealed that the game wasn't as high quality as we might have thought it was. A few days prior to Jump Festa, the voice actor for Ichigo showcased Bleach Rebirth the Souls tutorial. This would start a series of videos that followed the VA exploring pieces of the game to hype up the community. But it seemed that marketing was targeting only the Japanese fanbase. No events for North America or Europe, no exclusive gameplays, no flying creators out to try the game, just the VA playing the game and only being released on the Bandai Japanese pages. It got worse because Japanese sites then got a chance to try out the game's demo, but no North America or Europe publications. I don't know if there was something internally going on with Bandai. The only thing I could jump to was what happened with Sparking Zero accidentally leaked the reaction to a trailer. Finally, we got 60 FPS gameplay once Jump Festa occurred, and we saw a bunch of gameplay from different Japanese publications. I will admit, it was a spit in the face for North America and Europe, and while I did appreciate the gameplay because it gave me a much better idea of how the game played, however, it was the same characters we have already seen. People were either playing with the same character or playing against the same matches we've seen several times especially considering that we got gameplay back on September for the Caribbean Side episode. The biggest criticisms I seen in regards to the game was the lack of combos, and the characters didn't look like they could do a lot when it came to the battle system. It looked like everyone played the same. We fast forward to January 9th, and the VA would finally play the story mode. When he played the story mode, it really exposed that this game wasn't as high quality as we really thought. Edgy shadows, very lengthy cutscenes with a lot of talking, not a lot happening, just standing around, and missing prominent characters like Ichigo's sisters and his father in very important scenes. People wrote this off simply saying that, oh, we're playing this to battle friends for the FGC-like experience, not for the story. If you want to experience the story, go watch the anime. Me personally, I've always played anime games, and one pattern I notice is that they tend to go over the story because it offers kind of a diet version of experiencing the story to get you into the story. 7 days later, on January 16th, Bandai would release another overview trailer. Kind of makes you wonder if they did a really good job of explaining the battle system. This trailer broke down combat even more. It broke down story mode, other aspects of the game, including a secret story mode. The biggest thing that came from this trailer, however, was they were being more transparent, sure, and that DLC would be Thousand Year Blood War characters. We would then go to February 27th, marking the end of the voice actor playing Bleach Rebirth the Souls. He played a bit of the secret story, and he did some of the side content, and that was it. But things then took a stranger turn. Around this same time, someone had got a hold of a bunch of copies of Bleach Rebirth the Souls, specifically the Xbox Series X version. This person then advertised this on Reddit, and nothing came of it. However, while I was streaming on March 10th, I received a DM on Twitter with someone claiming they were getting the game early. I didn't believe it. I wrote them off. They provided proof that they were in fact getting the game early. They even exposed numbers and more images that clarified they weren't lying. I did not try to get the game early myself. It wasn't until Globku broke the news regarding the roster that things took a turn for the worse.
The Bleach Rebirth of Souls base roster is complete. 32 playable characters before DLC with some very interesting choices along the way. Let me start by saying that I really like this roster. For how unique each character's gameplay is, 32 characters is a great number to launch with. But now that we know the full roster, I think we can all agree that they have made some interesting choices here.
This seemed to open up Pandora's box. People were upset, or people started coming out in regards to information pertaining to the game. We even had information pertaining to a secret character in that the roster wasn't 32, but 33 characters. We spoke with Nechikage, who had seemingly confirmed that there was 33 characters, and this character was our boy, Dangai Ichigo.
Dangai Ichigo is in the game. Yes, it is true, but that's not what they call him inside of the game. I know the actual name for the character. The character's name is Ichigo Final Getsugo Tenjin. That's what it's actually called.
So it seemed like things were adding up, but with the game in the hands of several people before the release date, the community was just waiting for someone to just bite the bullet and drop something before the official release. PS360 took the bait. He released a very lengthy video playing with several characters, talking about his experiences and him being hyped for the game. It seemed like he did this because the marketing for Bleach Rebirth the Souls wasn't the best. Some people were so puzzled they thought this was a psych op done by Bandai to trigger the community into thinking that he accidentally leaked the game, and then we finally got the last character trailer for the game. This excitement for Dangai Ichigo was short-lived. Apparently, there was a lack of ranked mode in the game. A lot of anime games in recent time have been coming not fully complete, and Bleach Rebirth the Souls was no different. When the game officially came out on the 20th, early for people because of time zones and stuff, this is when it was officially confirmed that ranked mode wasn't in the game, and this of course frustrated people. Because who doesn't want to go online and fight against their favorite friend or that person that's been pestering them in the community and beat their ass? It was very apparent this game lacked lobbies. This game released with a laggy netcode. Even a data mine revealed that they had planned on a ranked mode and it even seemed to plan a lobby system with spectator. The fact of the matter is that Bleach Rebirth the Soul was released in a very bad state, even with its PC version not working for a lot of people. When this game did release officially, its Steam charts only peaked around 6 to 7k players. An anime IP whose anime return was met with a lot of positivity couldn't even break 10k concurrence. There were issues that were exposing themselves, which the devs had to address. First with the patch on April 4th, and then with a second one on April 11th. Despite the issues, initial reports actually stated the game sold over 100k, which doesn't seem impressive. A later report had came out from a person on Reddit who seemed to dog on the game sales for Japan. Recent reports suggested the game might have sold 500k and that it was the 9th best-selling game in March of 2025 for America. This would be a bit more impressive, but still not optimal. Now, to be fair, there's no official numbers being shared in regards to the sales number, but as far as the best-selling game, that does seem like a lot until we really consider the games, so this doesn't really tell us anything. Fact of the matter, the game is great in my opinion, but it doesn't look like the game had a chance at surviving long term. With people dropping the game, it seems the highly anticipated Bleach game faltered in the end. Will this be the end of more Bleach games coming out? It doesn't seem like that's the case, as Bandai seemed to share interest in developing yet another Bleach game. So could this have been a test in the waters? Because if it did 500k sales, that does show that there were interests there. I wanted to just go over the rise and very tragic fall of Bleach Rebirth the Souls. Give me your thoughts in the comment section. I am Makai saying, what yo? I'll catch you guys in the next video.